Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So before we get started with today's topic, I want to remind everyone that you can still join our monthly group membership called Awaken Your Magic. In this monthly membership, once you enroll, you will be put in a private Facebook group. And every month we have a master class. So last month we did breaking free from limiting beliefs surrounding money. And this month we are actually doing building self-confidence. And so each month the master class will be driven by the topics that you want to learn about. I take a poll in the group, and whatever it is that you guys want to learn more about, that's what I do the topic on. And each month there is a group card reading. So you can bring any topic you'd like, and I will pull cards for you, and I will pull as many cards as it takes to get you the clarity you need about that specific topic. The master classes are usually done on Sunday mornings, but if you cannot make it there live, it will be recorded, so you can also catch it on the replay on the Zoom call. So everything is done online through Zoom, and the sessions are recorded, and then those sessions are also put on the Facebook group. So if there's ever a time you can't make the live, you can just watch the replay. And even if you can't show up for the live on the group reading, you can send me your topic and I still will pull cards and tap into your guides for the topic that you've given me. We've had so much fun so far, and throughout the week I also give you tools to use to support whatever topic we're learning about. And I'm loving it so far, and I hope that those who are members are loving it too. I know one of them said that it helps her every single day to get fresh inspiration and to live her best life. So if you're interested, it's $30 a month. You can cancel at any time. You can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. There, if you click on the plus symbol under the offerings page, you can go directly to the page. You have to go to the page because it's set up as a monthly membership. It has to go through PayPal. So again, under the offerings page, if you click the plus symbol under offerings, if you're on your mobile device, then the page is called Awaken Your Magic. Just go to the page. You can read more about the membership, and then you can click enroll. And from there, PayPal, I believe, lets you do PayPal credit, and there's a couple of different options there once you enroll. So don't miss out. Join us because it has been so entertaining, so much learning and information going on, and so fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. So thank you for those of you who have joined already. And again, you can cancel at any time. So if you join and you're like, oh, this isn't for me, although no one has said that, you can cancel. But I know that if you join, you're going to have so much fun because we are having a blast. All right, guys. So today I wanted to talk to you about integrity and whether or not some people have it. The reason that I talk about this today is because there are a lot of people who will show up in your life, and they may seem like people who have high integrity. They may even be people who say they're very spiritual, and yet their actions and their words do not align. And I've been finding this more often in my life lately, in just the past probably year, than I've seen in my whole life. People coming in who are saying they're one way and spouting all of these things that would have you believe that they believe one way, but then their actions simply don't align with that. And I believe that this is not a coincidence. I think that I am being tested from the universe on this, and maybe some of you are too. So that's why I thought, well, maybe I'll do a topic about integrity and how to look for the red flags when you're dealing with people who don't seem to have integrity. Because when you start dealing with people like this, you can get hurt. They can also drag you down to their level. And all of this can happen so quickly without you even realizing what's going on if you're not paying attention and you're not seeing the red flags. And let's face it, we all do this. And if you're out there and you're single and you're dating, you may want to listen up because you're probably especially going to have to deal with this if you're dealing with online dating. like I know I have in the past. A lot of people, again, will put things out there because they want to have a certain image or keep a certain image. And it looks good on paper, right? Let's say you're looking at the specs of a car and you're like, oh, wow, well, it's got a V6 engine and it gets good gas mileage. And you're wondering to yourself, like, how can it get such good gas mileage if it has such a large engine? But everything on the paper looks great. Specs look good. And you get the car and then you realize, like, yeah, it does not get the gas amount that it said it does not get this many miles to the gallon. There's no way. And I really was wondering how it could get that many miles to the gallon. You know, that's kind of a simple explanation of what I'm talking about, but this has happened before, right? I mean, it's happened to me where I've gone to a car dealership and they tried to like slip something past me. I'm like, what? Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. And I have a friend who did that. She bought a Volkswagen and they were supposed to get such great gas mileage, and they did something. They said that they were supposed to comply with this environmental thing, and she bought it because she's really big into saving the planet, and she wanted it to be better for the emissions and all of that. And it turns out that they hadn't done any of that. It was just a lie they put out there that they had done all of these things and they hadn't. And there was a huge lawsuit, and she ended up getting her whole car paid for by Volkswagen. Like, they just bought her car back and she got to keep the car, but they gave her the whole amount back because, I mean, it was a pretty big lie. So they were trying to pretend that they were this company that was concerned about the environment, and they were upstanding, and they were doing all of these things to make sure that their cars were better for the environment. And you know, that sounds really good on paper, right? And when you're selling a car and you have those commercials and you're telling everyone, like, look how good we are for the environment. We're doing all of these things. And I'm not knocking Volkswagen because my brother has a Volkswagen now and he loves it. And, you know, they've made good cars. I'm just saying with this one issue, this is what happened, right? And everyone was like, yeah, that's great. I want to be better on the environment. A lot of people thought that because there are a lot of people out there who are trying to be green, and they buy electric cars and they're buying all kinds of cars to try to be better for the environment. And then they get this car, driving it around thinking they're doing something great for the environment. And then it comes out that it is no better. There's nothing different. You know, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. So their integrity was compromised because their actions didn't line up with their words. And in the same way, you will run across people who will tell you, like, yes, I'm so spiritual, I'm this, I'm that, I love the environment, I recycle, I do all of these things, whatever it is that they tell you. And then you spend a little time with them and you realize, boy, their actions do not line up with their words at all. But we can be sucked in to following people like this, being friends with them, whatever, and being kind of taken in like, wow, this person's so great. And then you spend time with them and you realize, well, this person is not who I thought they were at all. Like, I really thought they were one way. We can end up painting a picture in our heads of how we think someone should be. And then it turns out that person wasn't that way at all. And it wasn't because that person didn't show us who they were, but we didn't choose to see the red flags. We just chose to go by their words and not their actions. We let them tell us who they were. And instead of watching what they did and how they followed up with what they said, we just were so enamored with the words, right? And that words are a very powerful thing. It's like I always say to my daughter, anyone can tell you I love you. Those are just words. It's the actions that line up with the words. To some people, like saying I love you is just like autopilot because they just say it to people sometimes. And for people who understand that that's a very important thing and those are powerful words, you would never just throw those around to anybody. But what we don't understand is not everyone thinks like we do. Not everyone has the same experiences as we do. So when one person can say, I love you, and it might take them months to work up the courage to say it because they truly believe it and feel it and know how powerful that is, someone else might throw it around like confetti because it doesn't really have much of a meaning to them. They just say it to please whoever it is that they happen to be talking to. And I'm not saying this to offend anyone, but just to put this out there. I think so many of us who are people pleasers and who feel so deeply, we truly want to believe that there's good in everybody, and we truly want to save everybody. And we want to think that we have a purpose here to be with people and to love people. And yes, we do, but not everybody. Not everyone deserves your attention or your time. And that's a tough lesson. Because as a people pleaser, we want to please everyone. We want to give everyone our time. We want to give everyone our attention. And the toughest lesson that you will ever learn here on this earth is that not everyone deserves it. Not everyone deserves your time and attention. There are a lot of social norms, too, that cause us to overlook people's actions and take their word. But once you start to look at the actions and the words, and you start to see that, hey, these don't line up, that's called you're noticing the red flags. Someone who has integrity does what they say they're going to do. And someone who doesn't have integrity will not. Or maybe they only do it half the time. Maybe they'll tell you that they're going to do something, and you can only depend on them a portion of the time. I mean, I've had friends like that in the past where I would say, hey, let's do something. And they're like, yeah, let's meet up. And we'd have plans to do that. And last minute, the person would be like, I'm not going to go now. I don't really feel like it. It's like, okay, you absolutely have the right to change your mind, but doing that to someone over and over again is selfish. Because you've made the plans. You can't keep dropping the ball on somebody. So that is lacking integrity. And it's very interesting because I found that there are people who can have integrity when it comes to their job and yet not have integrity when it comes to their personal relationships. That's very common. Maybe you know people like that too. They're a hard worker, they do well in their job, and maybe they're in a leadership position. But then when it comes to their personal lives, it's like, what happened? Where did the integrity go? Having personal integrity is so super important because it represents who you are and how others view you. But more importantly, it's about how do you view yourself? Do you have respect enough to keep your word? So if you're having to deal with people like this, it's really, truly important that you see the red flags. And being a people pleaser, I know what happens. You see the red flags and you're like, I don't want to be mean to that person. I don't want to stop talking to them because then they're going to get offended. Don't worry about what others think of you when it comes to that. If someone is consistently letting you down and showing you their true colors, it is important for you to release your energy because they're going to drain your energy, take from you, and you're going to be resentful. And if you aren't feeling good, Abraham Hicks says, when you're talking about the law of attraction, you have the right to feel good, and you have the right to make the choice to only choose good feeling thoughts. So if you're around somebody who's making you feel bad thoughts, stop continuing that. Don't be around someone who does that to you. And part of the problem too is that maybe you're around somebody who can make you feel really good in 1 minute and like total crap the next minute. A lot of people have the power to do that, but only if you let them. They only have the power to make you feel that way if you continue to let them. So you may need to pull back your energy. And I know that if this is family, it's harder to do, but it's still possible. You can still set your healthy boundary and say, you know what? Until you learn how to treat me better, until you learn how to do what you say you're going to do, I have to remove myself. I can't be around you. Because you're teaching people how you want to be treated. And if you constantly stick around and allow people to use you or to make promises to you that they don't keep, then that's your fault for sticking around. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, because I've been there. I have been there. I've been that person who stuck around and let someone treat them like crap and then later was like, why did I do that? That was totally my fault. Because if I had put my foot down and said, you cannot treat me this way, then the person would have stopped. And I know they would have stopped because they did when I finally put my foot down. But it took years of me like just thinking that I was playing nice and trusting and doing all of the things that I thought I should be doing, which is only something you should be doing if the person has proven that they have integrity, that they value you, and that they're not going to let you down like that. So when we don't remove our energy from situations where people are taking advantage of us, that's our fault. We've got to learn to pay attention to the red flags. Being a spiritual being does not mean that you have to let everyone take advantage of you or that you have to be kind to every single person. It's not true. You can be highly spiritual and be discerning and tell people, I respect myself. And because I respect myself, I don't respect you or what you're doing, and I'm not allowing you to do it to me anymore. That is being very discerning with your time and energy. And not only is that absolutely necessary, it's also acceptable. You don't need anyone's permission to do that. And it doesn't make you a mean, ungodly person if you put yourself first and think about what you need. And what you need is not being around people who let you down. It isn't fair if you're constantly there for others and they don't reciprocate. We have got to stop being so polite to people who don't deserve it. You know, I was reading one article, I don't know, it was several years ago, that there was a statistic that women were more likely to be killed in attacks because we're polite. We're too polite, so we don't fight back because we've been taught it's not nice to fight back. Isn't that a horrible thing? We're literally dying because we're too nice. We've got to stop doing that. We've got to start realizing that it is okay for us to stand up for ourselves and to fight back. And the thing is, we're not just literally dying physical deaths. We're dying emotional deaths because we're not fighting for ourselves. It's impolite to do that. Who cares about being polite or politically correct? Okay, you've got to stand up for yourself. Stop allowing others to use you because you're not paying attention to the red flags. You notice in like every card deck I have, there's a card in there about paying attention to the red flags. It's not a coincidence. It's perfectly spiritually aligned to stop allowing people who don't deserve your time or energy to have your time or energy. One of the things we come here to learn is how to love ourselves. And that's what loving ourselves means. It means pay attention. Watch how people act as well as what they say. And if it lines up, great. If not, see ya. Don't give away any of your energy to someone who isn't willing to give back. Things need to be equal give and take. And for many of us, we're in relationships with spouses, with boyfriend, girlfriend, with our employers, with family members, with friends, where there is not equal give and take. And all that does is make you resentful, which those feelings of resentment and anger, that can lead to physical symptoms. I've said this before, and I don't know what the true studies show on this because I haven't looked at the research, but I have heard a psychologist talking about how there have been studies that show that diseases like cancer have been related to people who are holding on to feelings of unforgiveness and resentment. I mean, it makes sense because we know that when you feel bad, that manifests into physically feeling bad. And if somebody said to you, hey, you could feel a lot better physically if you just let go of all of the emotional stuff that you're holding on to, wouldn't you want to do it? I mean, I would think you do. And one of the best ways to let go of some of that stuff is to let go of the behaviors of allowing others who don't deserve our time or energy to come in and take it. Be discerning. Look for the red flags. Not only listen to what a person says, watch their actions. Some people are very, very good. They're manipulative and they know how to say the right things. But then it's almost like a switch that gets flipped on in like a second or overnight that their words change and their actions change. Pay attention. They are showing you who they are, and you need to allow them to. You can't get mad at that. When that happens to me, I thank God for showing me who those people are before I wasted too much time with them. I say that. I'm like, thank you for reminding me who this person is so I don't waste any more of my time. I can move on and spend time with people who deserve it. So instead of getting angry and upset and saying, oh my gosh, why is this person taking advantage of me? Instead, say thank you for showing me who you are so I don't have to waste any more of my time here. That's what I always say. And better people will come into your life. Thank God and the universe for the lesson. Thank you for showing me who this person is and that I don't want to spend any more of my time with them. And thank you for bringing in more people that I do want to spend time with. And those people will show up. But there's no room in your life for those people if you're hanging on to the ones who are toxic and giving you all of these red flags. You got to let those people go. Or at least hold them at bay. You know what I mean? Be very discerning with your time. Yes, if they're family, okay, I will spend one barbecue with you and that's it. You know, it's not selfish. It is absolutely taking care of yourself to do that. In a perfect world, everyone would give and take equally, and that's what we're used to on the other side, which is why it's such a painful lesson when we come here and people aren't like us, that they don't want to be kind, that they don't want to give and take equally. But we all come here with our own experiences, and those experiences are what shape the way that we behave and interact with others. And so many people are wearing glasses right now that are completely smudged, so much so that they can't even see out of them. And that's why they're so blind to how they treat others. And you can't fix that. They can only fix it themselves. And it's not your job to fix anyone. And that's one of the things we need to let go of too, is that feeling that it's our job to come here and fix people. It's not. The way that you come here and you fix people is by working on you. When you work on you, those around you, if they want to shift, if it's their destiny to, they will. And you're sort of the catalyst for that because they see you shifting and then they think, oh, what is she doing? What is he doing? Well, I want to shift too. And then they work on themselves. But it is not your job to go and fix broken people. That's not our job. So don't take on that role of being a fixer because you can't You can't do it. Work on you. Shift the focus back on you. It's not selfish. It's absolutely crucial. You'll see more success in doing that anyway. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pull a card for you today. And so I used the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. And the front of the card says, earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. I love that. And it's true. If you've experienced a lot of disappointment and upset in your life, don't take it too seriously. It's all a part of your journey, but it's preparing you for the better stuff that's coming. The other side of the card says, never regret love, no matter how blind it improved your vision, no matter how foolish it made you wiser, and no matter how generous it made you more. I love that. And it's so true. Never kick yourself for loving someone who didn't reciprocate or didn't treat you the way you thought you should. It was a lesson for you. It taught you what you don't want so that you can be more discerning in the future. And there were probably some great aspects that you saw, this is what I do want and this is what I don't want. That's the whole journey of love, is we're discovering what we want in our life and what we don't want in our life. And we are able to then compile a list of, this is the perfect thing for me. This is the perfect person. And that's what we can give to the universe. Hey, this is what I want. This is what I want. More of this, more of this. None of this, more of this. So it was all a lesson. Never regret your lessons because they have made you who you are today. And without them, you would never learn and grow. Even though it can be painful, try to leave the pain and keep the lesson that caused your growth. All right, guys. Well, don't forget, you can follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central on Facebook, where I do a free card reading. And if you show up for the live, I'll pull a card especially for you. I also post videos on Instagram on Saturdays. I do a reading, I pull cards, and I also channel some messages. So you can go check that out on my Instagram. Also, if you want to work with me, there are so many ways you can. You can go to my website, melissaoatman.com, and there you'll see all of the services I offer. You can also book a free discovery call with me if you want to work with me, but you don't really know what you want to do. Book a call with me. We'll jump on the call either through a video call or just over the phone. And I can talk to you and figure out what it is that you're hoping to achieve. And I can tell you how I can best help you with that. I don't mind people reaching out. I love talking to my listeners. Also, if you want to leave a review for me, I have a contest going on right now. If you've read my book, Beautifully Broken, and you leave a review from wherever you purchased and you take a screenshot and send it to me, I will enter your name for a drawing for a free reading with me. I have a few people entered already, so if you've done that, please send me your screenshot so I can enter you in the drawing. Also, don't forget, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening and share it with others. That is the most awesome thing you can do because my small business, my podcast following has been built on just referrals, and I appreciate it so much. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day from wherever you're listening, and I'm always sending you so much love and light. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.